afternoon, everyone. Today, under our series of Beyond the Big Picture, we are going to discuss about India's vision for Indo-Pacific. Indo-Pacific is a term which we are often hearing in the news. It is often coming in the news. Why not this term, why this term is so important and why not it should come in the news? This term is so important because Indo-Pacific is now emerging as the new and it is emerging as an expanded theatre of great power contestations. So many great powers, be it your USA, be it your France, be it your UK, be it your China, India, some of the ASEAN countries, major ASEAN countries, then African countries, everyone has a direct or indirect stake in this region. So this region has turned into a political hotspot. And sometime back in the month of December last year, there has been a comment from Foreign Minister of Russia and Mr. Sergei Lavrov. He has said that Indo-Pacific is, it's a kind of a ploy. It's a ploy which is used by the Western countries to draw New Delhi into its anti-China games. And this statement was strongly refuted by our spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs, Mr. Anurag Srivastava. He has strongly refuted it. Then very often now and then we hear that China is criticizing any endeavor in the Indo-Pacific region. So why there is so much of criticism about India's role in the Indo-Pacific by some of our friends like Russia or China? Why they are criticizing India in the Indo-Pacific, and why they are taking us negatively in our actions in the Indo-Pacific? So what is our vision about Indo-Pacific? India has made it very clear, and today we are going to discuss that. But before that, let us first understand this term. What does this Indo-Pacific term mean? This Indo-Pacific term has a different connotation for different countries. Say for example, US, according to US, this Indo-Pacific region extends up to the western coast of India, and which is also the geographical boundary of the US Indo-Pacific Command. For India, this is not only up to the one coast of India. For us, Indo-Pacific is a very big spectrum. For us, Indo-Pacific is a geographic and strategic expanse with the ASEAN as a connecting point between the two major oceans, that is your Pacific and Indian Ocean. Initially, we were focusing only on the eastern side of the Indo-Pacific, keeping ASEAN as the center point. But of late, now we have started expanding the canvas of this Indo-Pacific region, and now we are also including the areas of the Western Indian Ocean in the Indo-Pacific, the areas which includes our neighbors from the Gulf, the areas which includes our neighbors or the littoral countries from the Arabian Sea and African countries. So there is a big difference in the definition, because for the West, they are defining it in silos, but for India it's a seamless whole. Why we have this difference in our definitions of Indo-Pacific? Because if you see, India is a very, very old civilization. और बहुत ही पुराने समय से we have seen how art, culture, religion has traveled across this region. India से जो है Buddhism है, Jainism है, different parts of this Indo-Pacific region में it has spread. And if you see our ancient trade routes, be it your cotton route, be it your spice route, ये सारे area को cover करता था. तो so it would be very, very difficult for India to divide Indo-Pacific between Horn of Africa and Malacca Strait. For us, this is a seamless whole. But when we talk about West, so during this Cold War period, this Indo-Pacific region was sliced and diced into areas of political influence. the areas of military influence. So their definition is also somewhat into silos, but for us this Indo-Pacific is a seamless whole. This is a one common area. It cannot be divided into silos. So now we are focusing not only on the western side of the Indo-Pacific, but also on the eastern side of the Indo-Pacific. We can say that now India is recognizing both geographical extremities of the Indo-Pacific spectrum. We are giving impetus to Act East policy as well as Act West policy in the Indo-Pacific region. So this is how we define Indo-Pacific. Now the question is, this is Indo-Pacific. Now why this region is so much important for us as well as for other countries? If you see this region, Indo-Pacific region, this is one of the most important trade routes, maritime trade routes. If we see the global trade, approximately 65% of the global trade is traveling on the waters of the Indo-Pacific, which is amounting to approximately 60% of the global GDP. And when we talk about India, this is like almost 90% of the trade. Our maritime trade is passing through this region, especially our oil energy sector is very, very important for this region. So this is a very important international trade route, and then this also is a very important sea lane of communication. This region is also very important because this region comprises of so many countries, especially your developing countries with huge population. And this is a market, this is a business opportunity for the countries. This provides a big market to the countries to export and import their goods. And along with this, of late this region has taken a lot of importance because of the rise of China. Rise of China is good, but the way China is asserting itself on this Indo-Pacific, which is a very, very important trade route, is a concern for every country. China is flexing its muscles in the Indo-Pacific region, और ये जो रीजन है इंडो-पैसिफिक का, ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है, हम सब के लिए, सारे कंट्रीज़ के लिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि यहाँ से लगभग 60% ऑफ द ग्लोबल जीडीपी आपका इस रास्ते से जाता है. तो अगर इसमें if there is no rule bound governance of this region, it is going to impact the economies, it is going to impact the stability of this region, it is going to impact the economies of all the important and all the countries which are the stakeholders in this region. So that is why this region is very, very important. And if you see, apart from this, politically also this is a hotspot because all major powers, be it your USA, be it your France, be it your UK, they have their military bases here. Be it your Diego Garcia, आपका Reunion Island है यहाँ पे, Djibouti है आपका यहाँ पे. So many countries are having their military bases here. And this is also a region where some of the major global conflicts are there. Be it your West Asia, be it your India, Pakistan, be it your India, China, be it your African nations. So ये जो area है ये आपका politically भी बहुत ही versatile region है और यहाँ से हम सबका trade flow करता है. So that is why the peace, stability and security of the region is very, very important. Now let us come to the main topic, India's vision for Indo-Pacific. As we have just discussed that how the Russian foreign minister has given a statement which is something very derogatory against India, and then off and on China is also criticizing India for our efforts in the Indo-Pacific. But why they are saying this? Because for them it is the Indian concern, the Indian vision of the Indo-Pacific is not clear. Though India has always talked about, very clearly India has talked about its vision for Indo-Pacific. And we have been refuting all the criticisms because our vision is very clear. From the very beginning, we are very clear that our vision is prosperity and growth and equality for all the nations in the Indo-Pacific region. We believe in the principles of inclusiveness. We believe in the principles of your unity. We believe in the principle of openness. We believe in the centrality of ASEAN nations. So these are the 4 points which have been clearly stated by Prime Minister Mr. Modi, that our vision for Indo-Pacific is we believe in inclusiveness. We believe in inclusiveness, we believe in openness, we believe in centrality of ASEAN, and we also believe in the unity of all the countries who are the stakeholders in Indo-Pacific. So this, our vision is very, very clear. And then this region, as we have discussed, that this region is a very important trade route. Since it's a very important trade route and there is a lot of instability as we have just discussed, so this region is also prone to many of the traditional and non-traditional security threats. Non-traditional security threats like piracy is there, non-traditional security threats like your cyber security issues are there, non-traditional security threats are your natural disasters, which because of the climate change, global warming, the frequency has increased. So this region is very, very prone to your traditional and non-traditional security threats. And India has clearly said that security of the region must be maintained through dialogue. So our vision is that this area is prone to security issues. So we are very clear that any security issue has to be resolved through dialogue. There should be a common rule-based order, and there should be freedom of navigation and your overflight, and then unimpeded commerce should be there, and a settlement of disputes should be according to the international rules and regulation. So we are adhering to the values which are respected by all the countries. We believe that Indo-Pacific is a global common. Our vision is that this is a global common, and hence it should be used by all the stakeholders by adhering to the values of inclusiveness, openness, unity, centrality of your ASEAN. And then if you see US, for US, China is not a part of its Indo-Pacific construct, but India has clearly mentioned that time and again we have been talking about it, we have been speaking about it, that Indo-Pacific for India is not against any particular country, because we believe in unity, we believe in inclusiveness. So we are, this Indo-Pacific for India is not a construct which has to be used against China. So this is what is our vision for Indo-Pacific. We want that Indo-Pacific should be a region which should be well connected, be it your economically, socially, culturally, it should be well connected, and all the countries should have the say in the freedom of navigation. All the countries should get the opportunity of equality, and they all should prosper in this region. So this is the vision of India's Indo-Pacific construct. Now this is what is our vision. So what we are doing to achieve our vision, that is also very important. If you see our foreign policy, initially our foreign policy was mainly concentrated on the continental aspects. We were not focusing much on the maritime aspects. But of late now we are focusing on the maritime aspects also, and India is trying to promote free and open Indo-Pacific, and we have taken so many steps for the promotion of this free and open Indo-Pacific. We have taken many initiatives for this, like we have talked about Sagar. We have initiated a we have taken an initiative by the name of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region. Then we have many organizations or associations, like we have Indian Ocean Rim Association is there, IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Association is there, and of very recently we have also started IPOI initiative, that is your Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. This is an initiative which has been taken by India, and this initiative is also to promote security. This initiative is to promote security and stability in the region. And the pillars of IPOI is basically your Act East policy as well as Act West policy. So there are so many initiatives, like Sagar is there, IOR is there, IPOI is there. Apart from this, we have also opened a special division for the Indo-Pacific in our Ministry of External Affairs, so that we can focus on IORA, we can focus on Quad, we can focus on IPOI. So there are so many initiatives that we have taken. And last year in 2020, we have also opened a special division of your Oceania countries. Oceania Division has also been opened up in the Ministry of External Affairs last year. This is basically to focus on the region stretching from the Western Pacific to the Andaman Sea. So there are so many initiatives apart from these special divisions in MEA or some special organizations like IORA, IPOI. We have also been a part of a very important grouping that is there for the Indo-Pacific, that is Quad. A quadrilateral group which comprises of India, which comprises of Japan, which comprises of US and Australia. So this group has been formed with the objective of promoting freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific, and also to contain the rise of China, also to contain the militarization of China in this region. So we are also part of Quad. Apart from this, we are into so many bilateral and multilateral agreements with the countries in the region. We have increased our outreach in the region, as we have seen even during pandemic also. We have provided lot of support to many of the littoral countries, be it your Maldives, be it your Seychelles, be it your Mauritius. So we are trying to keep ourselves engaged with the countries in the region. Then we are into many of the bilateral exercises. Connectivity projects are also, we are undertaking many of the connectivity projects in the region, like Asia-Africa Growth Corridor is there with the help of Japan, we are doing it. Then IMT, that is India, Myanmar, Thailand corridor is there, IMT corridor, BBIN is there. Then Sitwe project or the Kalardan multimodal project is there. And then of late we have also started supplying defense equipments to some of the littoral countries in the region. And not only this track 1 diplomacy, we are also focusing on more people-to-people contact, track 2 diplomacy. So we are focusing on that aspect also. More cultural aspects we are focusing, like with ASEAN, we have a pillar of your cultural connect with the countries of the ASEAN. So we have taken many initiatives in this region. And then we have conducted many of the disaster and relief operations in this region. Then apart from that, what we are doing is we have also done MOUs with some of the countries for use of the ports which are of strategic importance, like Sabang port. We have done a MOU with Indonesia, then Dakam port with Oman. Similarly, we are having a good relationship with France, and France is having a military base in Djibouti. So this way we are trying to also become influential in this particular region. So government of India is taking a lot of initiative, and we have also seen that our Prime Minister, our President, our External Affairs Minister, they make it a point to visit the countries in this particular region, Indo-Pacific. And we are also now too much close to Australia, and for the first time Australia has been a part of our Malabar exercise along with USA and Japan. So this way we have seen that we are trying to increase our outreach. We are trying to increase our connectivity in the region, be it your physical connectivity, be it your economic connectivity, be it your social, cultural connectivity. We are trying to make India a very important stakeholder in this region. So many of the efforts, 2+2 dialogue mechanisms we are doing in this particular region with the important stakeholders, like we have 2+2 dialogue mechanism with USA, with Japan, we have it with Australia. So 2+2 is where our Foreign Minister and Defence Minister of India is interacting vice versa with the Foreign Minister and Defence Minister of these countries. So many initiatives have been taken by India to fulfill its vision for Indo-Pacific. Though so many initiatives have been taken, but still we find that there are many challenges. There are many challenges in the Indo-Pacific region for India. The challenges are numerous, like we can say number one challenge is, like we have initially also discussed, that this region is a region where many conflicts are there. So if you see the conflicts, like we have the island disputes between Japan and China. We have the island disputes between China and Philippines, between China and Vietnam. We have island dispute between China and Taiwan. So there are so many disputes which is creating some kind of the instability in the region. So that is one concern. If the region is not stable, then there would be difficulty in implementing our policies in the region. It has to be politically stable, it has to be politically a peaceful region, but there are so many disputes that are going on in this region. So that is one challenge that India has to face because of the instability. Though India is not directly involved in these disputes, but these disputes are not creating the conducive environment for the growth and development. And then apart from this, another major challenge, if you talk about, is China. China has already asserted itself as a major player in this region. China, through its BRI policy, that is your Belt and Road Initiative, China through its AIIB, that is your Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, it has already asserted itself in this region. And it's not only this, then it is also implementing very assertive policies, very assertive strategic policies in the region. So China is already there, and many of the countries of the Indo-Pacific are the members of BRI, that is Belt and Road Initiative. So its economic engagement with the region is also very, very strong when we compare it with respect to India. And it's not only economic, even military also, if you talk about, then China is one of the major defense suppliers to many of the countries in the region, be it your Vietnam, be it your, be it your Myanmar, be it your Bangladesh, be it your Sri Lanka, be it your African countries. So China is already there. And apart from that, China is also trying to reach out to even the smallest of the countries in the region like Vantau, है ना, वहाँ छोटी सी छोटी countries जो हैं आपकी, Vantau है, Tonga है, हर छोटी सी छोटी country के साथ China का relationship है, and that relationship is mainly your economic relationship, and that too आपका जो relationship है उसमें जो है trade of like your balance of trade is in favor of China. So because of all these things, the China has already asserted itself in this region. And another thing that RCEP is now signed, and India is not part of RCEP, and all the countries of the Indo-Pacific, all the countries of RCEP are the major players in the Indo-Pacific region, and they all are now together with China in this region. Economically, they are together with China in the region. So China is already there. And then when we talk about Quad, है ना, क्वाड की अगर हम बात करते हैं कि वी हैव एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बाय द नेम ऑफ क्वाड टू कंटेन द राइज ऑफ चाइना, अनडेमोक्रेटिक राइज ऑफ चाइना इन दिस इंडो-पैसिफिक रीजन. सो क्वाड itself is right now, though we are taking steps to make it a strong option for the countries, but we are yet to become a very well defined organization, because like we have discussed, the definition of Indo-Pacific, it varies for different countries. For India it is different, for US it is different. For US, Indo-Pacific does not include China, but for us Indo-Pacific, we are not against China. So there are so many differences in this, and some of the critics are also saying that this is a kind of a Asian NATO. So Quad, again, it has not come up to the level of expectations of the countries in the Indo-Pacific right now. And then apart from this, if you see what are the other challenges that we face in we may face is our navy. We do not have a very strong blue water navy which can attack in the open seas. So blue water navy है जो है आपकी, वो हमारी अभी तक पूरी तरह से तैयार नहीं है. Our defense, our navy is not very technologically strong right now, though we have taken many of the steps towards this, but at the moment we can say that we are not a very strong open water, we are not a very strong blue water navy who can take actions in the open waters. So these are some of the challenges. And then another challenge is like some of the small countries, littoral countries from the ASEAN group or from the African group, they would not be interested to somehow negate China. Because they are already under some kind of a economic agreement with China, and they would try to balance out the relationship in the region. So these are some of the challenges that we would be facing in the implementation of our Indo-Pacific vision. But challenges are there, but we are now trying to address these challenges. We have taken many of the steps, and we are taking many of the steps. And what more we could do is, one thing we need to understand is that Indo-Pacific vision of India is India's vision. ये हमारा vision है, तो हमें इसके लिए पहले मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, rather than depending on Quad or other multilateral organizations. पहले we have to like charity begins at home. तो पहले हमारे vision को fulfill करने के लिए हमें मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, हमें improvements लानी होगी. So what we could do is, number one is, we have to have, if we really want to assert ourselves as a strong stakeholder in this Indo-Pacific region, then we have to become a net security provider. And that is what India says, that it is a net security provider in this Indo-Pacific region. Not Indo-Pacific, but yes, Indian Ocean region, at least for the time being. And then we have to expand ourselves. So if we are saying that we have to be the net security provider in the region, then we also have to be self-reliant for defense equipments, defense technologies, and that is what we are trying to do right now. We are trying to promote the Indianization of defense production. Then we have to have a very strong blue water navy, because now the major players are there, and if we want that our vision should become fruitful in this region, then we have to be very strong. We have to have very strong navy, we have to have very strong different theater commands in this region. Then apart from this is we also have to increase our relationship, we also have to increase our engagement with the countries, be it your bilateral, be it your multilateral, be it your regional cooperations. We have to increase our engagement, be it your military engagements, be it your economic, social, cultural, all kinds of engagements we have to increase, and especially our economic engagement has to be focused more, because China has already economically it has asserted itself in the region. So that is what we are trying to do. And then we also have to be there, always ready to help the countries, because we are saying that we are the net security providers. So be it your natural calamities, be it your piracy related issues, be it your cyber related issues, so we should be there for the countries so that they can trust us. There is an alternative. Otherwise, if there is no alternative, naturally countries would be going to China. And then we are talking about Quad. Now we are seeing that the foreign ministers are meeting, and they have said that they would be meeting very regularly. So this is a very important initiative for strengthening of Quad. But yes, first thing is militarily or strategically Quad has to be strengthened, but at the same time we also need to strengthen Quad economically. And that is what during pandemic we have tried to expand the Quad by taking the initiative of Quad Plus, where we have invited Vietnam, South Korea and New Zealand to participate for the economic recovery post pandemic. So Quad has to be seen by the countries in the Indo-Pacific region not only as an Asian NATO. It should not be seen only as a group for strategic importance, rather it should be seen as a group of economic value also, because when you are economically integrated, then there is more trust. Only military or strategic angle would not win the trust of the countries in the region. So Quad has to be strengthened economically also, culturally also, so that there is a plan B for the countries. There should be an alternative to China. Quad should be seen as an alternative to China. Then only countries would have trust on Quad. And freedom of navigation and all those things, when we are talking about freedom of navigation, when we are talking about following of international rules and regulation, then we need to cut the wings of China, which is promoting the undemocratic principles in the region, and that could only be done through economic and military engagement in this particular region, by Quad grouping or by bilateral relationship, India and countries in this region. So overall, India's vision for Indo-Pacific is very, very clear, that we believe in unity, we believe in inclusiveness, we believe in rules, regulations, international norms, we believe in freedom of navigation, and we are not against any one particular country. We are there together for the development of all in the region. So this is basically the details of your Indo-Pacific vision of India. Thank you.